Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk Bourbon. I'm John.
I'm James.
And today we are live at Zim's Cafe for a special filming of an episode that we like to call Holiday Bourbon and Cookie Pairing. So what's fun about this is we've done this for the past few years here at the Zim's Cafe and Thirsty Fox Bourbon Bar. And so we're downtown Lexington on site filming, and we've got the lineup here today. And I've got my special counterpart, James, for those of you that have not tuned in before, that are part of just the Bourbon Club. Welcome, James.
Member of the Bourbon Club. Happy to be here.
That's right. And so James is a distiller by trade. And of course, a lot of you guys know me as an educator. But we're going to have a lot of fun here, and we're going to go through our pairing today. So we've got our cookie plate in front of us, and what we'll do is we'll go through each bourbon and then talk about the individual pairing that we've chosen. However, we do recommend you guys be creative at home. Go ahead and try to choose the cookie that works for you. The good part about doing this at home and having this on video is that you get the variety out of it. So totally take advantage of that. That said, we're going to go ahead and start with our first bourbon, and we'll go down the line. So James, we'll let you kick it off with our Woodford.
Yeah, kind of shocking that Weta picked a Woodford double oaked to go with the Woodford cookie.
That's right. She might have some history there.
A little bias.
So the first up, we're going to do the Woodford cookie with the Woodford double oaked.
So how do you think we should nibble first or sip then nibble? Or
I think take a little nose, and I would say go ahead and acclimate, so take a little sip first. Why not? It's your holiday.
wake up the palate?
Wake up the palate.
I love double oaks for Woodford. It's always such a solid offering. It's coveted. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a regular Woodford offering, but just when they double it, it just adds that next step of flavor. And probably going to go real well with the cookie.
Yeah, just to remind, double oaked on this means that it's secondary aged in a brand new barrel again, meaning that you're bringing out a lot of vanillas, caramels, and that sweetness. So this is a sweeter profile bourbon for sure. Married with the Woodford cookie. Let's see how it goes.
See why she paired it. There's a lot of same notes from both.
That's a good cookie.
No, that's... Boy, that just makes that cookie pop.
Makes it buttery.
Yeah. Some kind of fruit note in there, and the fruit note that between the two, I mean, well, fruit notes in the bourbon, but the actual fruit in the, that's probably one of the best fruit cakes I've ever had in the cookie form.
Yeah, get like a dried fruit out of it. So, can't go wrong with that one. Now, Woodford double oaked, you can find pretty easily on the shelf still, around $50 a bottle. Definitely something out there you can get. Unlike this next one, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge unless you go to the distillery. So, next up on deck, we're going to talk about pairing the Elijah Craig Toasted with the sugar cookie.
And this is funny because this is another secondary finishing aging product, but slightly different than the Woodford because it's toasted versus just reusing a similar style barrel.
That's right. So with them, they're actually toasting the barrel instead of putting it in another charred barrel. This is going to be a little bit more expensive of a find too. You're talking in the $80 range.
If you can find it.
If you can find it. Well, let's go ahead and give that a sip. Wow, that's got a great nose on it. You guys are in for a treat for getting these samples.
I think that makes the most sense for the sugar cookie because toasting it with that lighter char is going to be more of those wood sugars, not as burnt.
Really brings out those sweeter flavors. And that just adds to it. Actually makes it very mouth-watering, I think.
Funny, there shouldn't be a savory note, but makes your mouth water like there's a savory note. I mean, it makes the vanilla and the two of them just kind of pop. I mean, it's all like chewing on a raw vanilla bean. In a good way.
Yeah. Gosh.
Fucking crunch on that too.
Great crunch on that.
Now it's just really that vanilla. It helps with the mouthfeel.
Just a delicious, delightful, soft, easy pour. And that one's going to be 94 proof. So again, we're not too high or heavy in proof, but our next one, that's probably going to up our game a little bit. We're going to go to 100 proof. Knob Creek, 12 year.
This one can be got a little bit better, easier than the toasted from Elijah Craig, but it's still a hard find, and it's also one of the ones. What was it, 83?
Yeah.
So, but Knob Creek's really good, and the nice thing about the extra time in that barrel is easily our oldest on. So it's going to have more time, more wood sugars. I think it's going to have a little more depth.
12 years means it's going to be aged. We're going to pair it with the corn cookie to bring out a lot of those corn notes, see how that goes. And yeah, $70-$80. Not awful, but
paying for the time in the barrel.
Paying for the time in the barrel. Cheers.
Oh wow. Yeah.
That's already corn forward on the palate.
And you can tell it's 12 years. It just fills the whole mouth. Tannic in a good way for the barrel. Oh, hey.
And where that tannic kind of melts away, what you have in there, like the corn cookie adds it right back.
Honestly, that was the one pairing I was the most corn cookie. But I mean, the sweetness in that and the inherent sweetness in the corn, I mean, that pairs real well. It's a very
it actually
surprise.
Like nullifies the tannic aspects of it and just makes it a really smooth.
Yeah. It's like almost taking the hoe cakes here and making a dessert out of it.
I like that. All right, well, next up on the list, we're moving down the line.
A Russell single barrel. What is the proof on this? Because they are a little different, aren't they?
Proof on this one's going to be 110. Non-chill filtered.
So easily our warmest on the bunch. This was also in the $70, $80 range. No, this was 60. If I remember.
No, closer to 80.
Okay.
So this one we're going to do it with the sorghum cookie. Easy to get confused with the sugar because it's got some of those crystals on it, but it should be a fun one. So let's give it a shot. I'll let you lead in on this one, James.
Nice nose. It's definitely sweet. I almost get Earl Grey tea on it. I mean, for some reason I'm getting a lot of barrel notes. Almost, tea, savory.
Yeah, it's herbal.
Borderline herbal. I think that with the sorghum, which is more complex and darker sugar. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's by itself. Very herbal, very tea, kind of representative on the palate.
And together, You get a lot of sweet and savory on that. This is easily the most savory, herbal. I think the two are really complex together. Yeah, this one's the most unique. I mean, the corn one was cool, but this one's just got it's got so many layers of depth and flavor to it. It goes from herbal to tea-like.
It almost goes to like tobacco leaf once you're into the sorghum.
You know, I think the heavy dark notes in both really just lean into each other and just bring it out.
I think this might be my favorite cookie so far. It's a really good cookie.
I think the pairing is my favorite. It just, and those of you who watch, I am kind of a wild turkey homer, so, and these are some of the reasons why, because you can't get some of those tea, tobacco, herbal.
Robust. I mean, it's.
But it would have to be robust to stand up to that dark of a sugar.
It's not all surface level, that's for sure.
And and the new bottling, because they changed the bottle.
That's right. They just changed the label over, but this is the New Maker's 46 label. So this one we're going to pair with the cranberry vanilla cookie.
Which, that makes a lot of sense. I can see a lot of similar notes in there. So the 46 is, because it is, what's the difference between this and the regular Makers?
It's got 46 staves.
Not exactly.
What's the difference, James?
Because it's aged, and then they put in a unique, I think it was the 46 one he tried?
Yeah, it was the 46 one, so they put in staves in this.
For a second maturation.
French oaks staves for in the barrel as it's aging. And for those of you that are just regular Makers fans, I encourage you to continue to go back and try some of these, like 46 if you haven't, but some of the other stave finish makers, because they're just getting incredible reviews and often easily overlooked, because when you try that original Makers and you never come back to it, you just have this one picture of what things are, and I think you're doing it a disservice right now, because they're doing some fun experimental stuff.
I do like the fruit in both, because they really go well together. Because I've always found the Makers, and definitely the 46, can give you some of those bright kind of candied fruit notes, and you really get that in the cookie. So when I heard this pairing, this one just seemed like it was the most easily next to the Woodford cookie with Woodford. But,
right.
Yeah. But the vanilla, the fruitiness, I've always found that in Maker's products, and definitely the 46.
It complements it. It's very much like baking spices and very, very sweet, sugary.
Wow. These have all been great. And I guess we have one extra one if you want it.
That's right. So here's the good news. Folks, you have your choice at home. You can follow along and pair alongside the ones we have. Obviously, we have little bits of cookie left that we can go and try other things, which I would highly encourage. But at the end of this, you get a bonus cookie, because why not? You deserve it. And so we have chocolate chip cookies left on our side. Now, you could always substitute and try different ones instead and come up with whatever your bonus cookie is, but why not finish with a good old-fashioned chocolate chip cookie?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Perfect way to celebrate the holiday. I just realized this is probably the rudest video we have, because we've been talking our mouth full the whole day.
That's true. Non-stop.
Kind of hard not to do, though. So, out of this bunch, what do you think would pair best with the chocolate chip?
I would say, because it's got a little bit of like some of that dark chocolate in there too, I might go Elijah Craig Toasted.
I would see either the toasted because I like the sugar, but I would be curious about the dark chocolate, how it would play with the Brussels milk.
Let's give it a try.
Well,
That's good. That's like a warm blanket on a winter's day.
no, you're right though. I would totally agree with that.
Yeah,
What a wonderful way to be wrong. I mean, I get to chew on a great cookie and sip on bourbon. So, not saying this didn't work. Just sometimes things work better than others.
That's right.
Because I think some of these cookies probably, and that was the problem, some of these might overwhelm, some of these might not be strong enough to stand up to the cookies. And that's why Wheat, as a chef, she kind of knows how to taste and pair things together.
That's exactly right. And your palate could be different. You could get different pairings that work a little better for you, which makes this really fun at home. I would recommend if you wanted to even take it a step further, you could have somebody blind these and then do just the cookie lineup and then come back and forth and see if you could recognize the whiskeys alongside of the cookies and then unveil it, and maybe you want to eat like half the cookie and go back to it, but that could be something fun to try.
There are a lot of cookies, so yeah, you probably can half the cookie on that.
So what was your favorite kind of pairing? I'm with you. I mean, what you'd mentioned earlier, the Russells and the sorghum might.
I would say it's probably between the Russells and the sorghum, or the Elijah and the toasted. And my most surprising was the corn with the, because I don't think I've just never had a corn cookie before, but the corn and the Knob Creek 12 really
Worked well together.
worked well. And we've been to Zim's and Thirsty Fox once or twice, so I've had the Woodford cookie with the Woodford, and that's
Never go wrong.
No, that's a slow pitch home run, knock out of the park.
Yeah, shout out to Weta for making that a thing. Well, and actually all of these cookies, they're all incredible. And we're excited for you guys to try these at home. So I would say, first off, give it some experimentation if you have the time. Otherwise, you can just follow along with the script. But either way, you're not going to go wrong with pours. And again, just kind of going back to it, most of these are pretty accessible. I would say Russell's single barrel starting to get a little tough to find, and of course the Elijah Craig toasted. You might have to have somebody that mules out to Bardstown for you right now for that one. But the rest of these are not too bad.
No, not at all. Not at all. The price range is kind of a nice, your average price all the way up to you're a little bit higher and a little bit more exclusive. So
Yeah.
it's a good sampling of all, and this could be your favorite, or it could be one of the others.
Well, we appreciate you tuning in on this special episode of Let's Talk Bourbon. As always, we would love for you to like and subscribe. That always helps us out. We'd love to hear some feedback too. So if you want to comment on the page, let us know what you thought after you get through it. We'll make sure that we get this link out soon so everybody can get their cookie and bourbon kits. And as always, we're the Wet Bandits. No, I'm just kidding. I'm John.
I'm James.
And thanks for tuning in, guys.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Cheers.